10 years ago, I started in veterinary medicine and ended up in a coin shop. Mike, how do you think I should use fourscore like Abraham Lincoln?
What are you doing?
Oh, well, you said you was gonna give me a medal, so I'm practicing my speech and got my cane being all dignified.
You're not getting a medal. We're going to
what?
talk about that.
You're not giving me a medal? Welcome!
Hello, everybody.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching all of the little short videos. We've had a big response to that. We've had some that have garnished over 1,000 views on the shorts. And for you that have watched the shorts and actually called Mike and stuff and asked him questions, really appreciate you guys a lot for doing that.
Yes,
been a big success. This is our weekly long video that we like to do where we just talk about coins and numismatics.
There you go.
Let's spit that out there. And because, we think it's fun, and that's the reason we do it. This hobby and this particular type of collecting is fun. And so you might want to know from the intro, this particular cane right here was made by my grandfather, Bev Smith. And way back when I was in high school, he said he wanted some white oak. And I ordered some white oak, about 8 planks, and I took it to him. And he made some canes out of some old-fashioned marbles that he would pick up.
Nice.
And I don't even know, sometimes marbles can be worth
a
stuff.
lot of money, yeah.
And he would put quarters and stuff in the end of it and stuff. And so my grandpa, Bev Smith, he made this cane. And I just thought tonight, since we're talking about a different area of numismatics, tonight we're going to talk about medals and trophies. And now that may seem like an odd thing, but it's really a pretty awesome collector's edition as well. There are a lot of medals. There are a lot of trophies. There are a lot of collectible items that are not currency, that are just as fun and just as interesting and very collectible, and some are quite valuable. But we do want to make a distinction. Brother Mike, there is a difference between token medals and service medals, correct?
Right, yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So a lot of your motifs, like hard times tokens during the Depression, you'll have Civil War tokens that were made out of military issue. You'll have different tokens that are memorials or death tokens that were given out, like when presidents died, and different things that you'll hear. I'm going to be honest with you, tokens really, you can tie medals into it, as far as awards and stuff. Whenever Captain Cook, when he was out discovering the world, they had Captain Cook medals that were given out that he would give specifically to people, and they're very rare. You find a lot of rare stuff like this, but there's a big difference between even military issued versus what we call awarded. So Purple Hearts, Bronze Stars, Silver Stars. Of course, it's a felony to exchange medals of honor, anything like that, because honestly, if you did not earn it, or maybe a close family member who entrusted you with it when they left it to you when they passed away, you should not own those types of medals. I am ex-military, and I feel very patriotic about the fact that those were awarded to people that earned those. I am not a Purple Heart recipient, so therefore I should not walk around with a Purple Heart in my pocket. But these medals here, these were things that were generated. These are medals and different types of tokens that were given out. And everything from old bus stops. I had one from Mount Vernon, Kentucky one time. It was really unusual. I got a friend that collects this museum trade sometimes, but it had a shaved penny inside of a brass ring. That was the old Mount Vernon bus stop token. That's how they identified their bus stop token. So when you talk about tokens and medals, you're going to be all over the place. And you have a lot of value that's all over the place as well.
That's an awesome piece of history as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So just give us maybe a short example of some of the medals that you might have, some tokens that you might have that are collectible. Can
Okay.
you just show us some examples?
Yeah, I'll bring you up these right here. These were given out. These are the Republican president. This was the task force. You have seen these. Probably these are called the Medals of Merit. These were given out to a lot of different people. So over the years, these have became in circulation, and I happen to have one. This is something Ronald Reagan himself signed off on. Some of the other things that I've got that are maybe a little bit more unique, but I think are still very, very cool. This was the 81st Congress. So these were Congress medals that were given out. These were given out to commemorate the anniversary. I think it was the 150-year anniversary. So you've got tokens like this and medals that are out. And I don't have my Lincoln. Yes, I do. There it is. This is my Lincoln Memorial. This was his. This is what they call a death token. This was to symbolize his life and death as the president of the United States of America. It's been very, very worn. But it's still a very beautiful token. And then you got really unusual stuff that I haven't seen one like this, but this is called the Presidents of the U.S. And as you can see, it's all their different faces, and these were the presidents up until 1980, which would be Jimmy Carter, would be the last president of our modern era that was put on this. So you've got very cool little tokens and coins like that. And then you've got what we call mint tokens and coins. These right here, these are put out in different types of mint sets. This right here is from the Department of Treasury. This is a proof set medal or token that would be given out. And these things are really, really neat. They're very collectible. Some people, when they used to open their mint sets, they would throw these away. I don't know why, but they're really neat. And this one here, this is the same one. Yeah, this is the same look right here as well. So you can get a real good close-up on that. So you've got a lot of different varieties. And then this right here was the recruiting command for the Navy. This, of course, is JFK on the front here. These are really neat medals. You see, well, I'd really like to have something like that. Well, they are all for sale. Every medal you see is here for sale. And then they get over into something that was kind of a funny little thing, but actually started becoming rather popular. And they call this the Nixon penny. And you may have to have a little bit of age to remember the Nixon penny that came out, but this is actually one of them. This is actually an authentic Nixon penny, and it says it's getting smaller and smaller, so it was shrinking down on them. In other words, it was to make fun of the rise of cost at the time of inflation. Yeah, when things were jumping up, and so they were showing your penny was worth less and less every year. So just a few varieties, and we've got a lot of different types of tokens and medals, and then you've got stuff like this right here with the Paul Harris fellow. You can look these up. These are stuff that are given out to individuals, and I mean just so much history, and a lot of things we don't have up here that could be. You could have what they would call as hard time tokens. That's whenever money was real tight, they would make tokens up to literally have something to trade with. They would have it for military issue as well. You have Civil War tokens.
Don't you have cold camp tokens?
You have what they call cold script. Cold script is an amazing history of itself. What you have was back when the coal boom started happening in the early 1900s to control. Now, there's going to be some people that may not agree with 100% of this, but no matter whether you agree with it or not, it's history. You can't really do much about it. But to control their actual revenue in the coal camps, what they would do is they would build, of course, coal camps where housing was all pretty much looked the same. They would have grocery stores, and they would have clothing stores and convenience stores right inside the coal camp. The only trick is that you couldn't buy anything from their coal stores with actual federal currency. You had to buy it with what they call coal script. So if you worked for the coal company back in, and let's say I don't want to overshoot because I know there was a lot of men who worked really hard for low wages, but let's say you made 20 script a week, and you went in to buy milk and bread and everything, you had to go down to the coal store, their own controlled convenience stores, to use your coal script, because if you didn't use it there, outside of the coal world, it wasn't worth anything at all.
Not a bit.
No.
And very interesting part of our history to study about. Yeah. So with metals, okay, I'm sure that there are precious metal. Are there metals and tokens that are made of like pure silver, pure gold?
Oh yes, yeah. There's been several tokens and stuff that were made for Congress, maybe even to give a display of an upcoming even currency coin, and it would be something they would award out to be sterling silver or 999 silver. And even gold at times. There are different medallions and stuff that were made that may have been for just like a presidential elect kind of thing, like where he chose certain people, or House of Congress got certain things that were different demonstrations of either maybe merit or just something they gave away in general.
Is there a grading system for metals like PCGS and stuff? Do they grade
Yes.
metals and stuff? Do
Yeah,
they really?
Yeah, so I actually opened the Red Book. I've always liked bringing the Red Book over. So the Red Book alone will have a private tokens area that will go through from very fine to extra fine to AU, and it will give you a different listing of different things that they have. And so, even in your gold mine scripts, your Civil War tokens and things like that. Now, over here, we don't see as much of the gold mining stuff. Because of course that was the boom out in Alaska and California, but now it did make its way back here. There is people that you were going through and maybe you seen something in it, and because it didn't look like our currency, you just thought, well, that's just an old token, it ain't worth nothing. You'd be surprised. Even some bus tokens, even some gambling tokens, trade tokens, because you got to remember early on when our country was very new. We would trade everything from British money to French money to anything that would go around. And sometimes they would make their own tokens out of things like that and use it as almost a form of currency. And those things get passed down and left off. But yeah, you'll see it from gold to silver to brass. And yes, there's a grading system. It goes right along with everything that's numismatics. Anything collectible that has an exchange of hands, especially from a historical standpoint, it's very important that we preserve it, and I love the fact that yes, the grading companies jump in on this, and will give a value to what the grade is in the wear.
Sure. Are there genres of metal collecting, such as people in numismatics like to collect paper currency, and they like to refine that down to collecting just birth dates? And then there are people in numismatics that just collect pennies, and then those that collect just silver. Are there certain genres of metals that people collect?
Oh yeah, what you'll hear with the hard time tokens, there's people that are just simply military collectors. That's the stuff that they look for. They look for Civil War tokens. You'll have people that collect only presidential things. They're only interested in what were reflected on, whether it be presidential death tokens, whether it be there was a George Washington electoral token that was. Went up for auction like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember the astronomical amount that it went for, but that right there was just stuff that was handed out and survived from the first presidential election to now. You talk about history, and people like me that love history, that is just absolutely mind blowing that stuff like that has lived through the years. But there is people that specifically that will coal mine. I know people that only collect coal mine script. They want the best. I know people that are looking for higher grades, and then you have people that. When you got through the tokens, there's some that only want what's relative to foreign. They want foreign tokens, foreign peace tokens, things that were brought from overseas when our country was still young. They would give out things as kind of like an accommodation. In fact, one of the big things a lot of people don't know is that Benjamin Franklin had a very large following over in Europe. Of course, being one of the founding fathers, he had a great just a great following, I guess would be the most general way to put it, that where even the French issued over to be brought back was these peace medallions and things that were all related to Benjamin Franklin. So if somebody collects everything Benjamin Franklin, they're going to be looking for Benjamin Franklin medals.
French things. Yeah, that's really awesome. So over on the coin buying side, you're so much more plugged in and in depth. You know a lot of coin dealers, coin buyers, and stuff like that in your stuff. Is metals and medallions, tokens, are those things that coin dealers like to deal with?
Not your average coin dealer, no. They actually, you've gotten the good numismatics guys that are very into it, but I have found that they're out of 5, 6 coin dealers, you're looking for 1 to 2 that really takes the value serious, really takes what they're looking at serious, and not to say the rest doesn't, but they just don't. You know, they've had their specialty. They're into the American type currencies, they're into foreign currencies, and they really don't mess too much with that stuff. But then there are us guys like me that, you know, if it's collectible in history, I'm very interested in it. I want to make sure people know what they have, what their value, what they have, and then if it's something that they're into, I want to be able to help them to collect what they're looking for.
Fantastic. Well, that's what separates you from the rest of the soup. Amen.
Amen. Well, I hope so. I hope I can be a help to anybody. I don't know everything, that's for sure. But you know, the thing is, we do live in a great time where everything can be learned if you are willing to put the hard work in, the effort to find it.
Fantastic. So if somebody wanted to start collecting medals or tokens right now, they could come down and see you, and you could get them started, right?
I can get them started. I've got a lot of neat stuff to start out with. And like anything, when you start first collecting, you don't have to spend your life savings to get into anything. There are things that are $1, there's things that's $2 and upwards, and then you can kind of find out what really piques your interest. You know, I will tell you something about Newsmax I have found very interesting is I know people that when it comes to everything penny, they like pennies. I know people that everything nickel, they like nickels. And you say, well, why did you? Well, it's just because that was what got their interest. They, you know, it wasn't that where they didn't have an opportunity to see everything. They got into everything. And, you know, my brother-in-law, for instance, he started out with pennies, and he, for whatever reason, has fell in love with quarters. He loves them out of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and pennies. But he's not had any interest in anything else. So now he's the quarter and penny collector.
That's great. Well, Brother Mike, I really do appreciate you spending time talking to us about medals and tokens. How can people get a hold of you?
606-401-7025. And you can also email me at Londoncoinbuyer@gmail.com.
You still selling on eBay?
We still are selling on eBay. You have to put the link down for them, but yeah, get on eBay, check out all the neat stuff that we have on there. If you're a silver stacker, I will tell you this, I just got in a bunch of stackable silver. I've got 64 Kenneys that are in BU, and guess what? They're not out being sold for BU prices. They've been put in rolls to be sold. So you talk about a good time to stack silver. It's a real good time to buy silver.
Fantastic. Well, God bless everybody. Thank you for joining us on this great episode of London Coin and Collectibles.
God bless you guys. We'll see you next time. No medal today.